This is
okay as well.
This is the test results for the LG.
Right, that's nice and flat, huh?
I mean, it's absolutely
Looking
perfect
for these flat lines, yeah.
by the numbers.
Yeah.
It was the best performer by the numbers. However,
and I'm a little concerned or confused myself. I know I brought it up last time. Nobody can answer me as to why the meters didn't pick up some of the things that we see over here. So it confused me. And I'm sorry to ask a tough question to our own panel, but
we're still researching that.
Yeah,
we don't have an answer for it right now. I mean, even if we were to do it by eye, I don't know if we can actually do this by eye, because even when someone set this actual panel into standard mode, it still had this smoky cast on it, and I think it's actually the filter on top of that glass that's the problem.
I think you're right.
And it's just how it's refracting the light.
The meter didn't pick it up.
Elaine, did you move your meter to those different areas to see if you could?
Yeah. When we did the checkerboard, they moved that meter to every single white and black item on the checkerboard.
The vast differences when we had from the top left to the bottom right.
Exactly.
Could that be an issue just with this particular panel, or do you think that's across the board?
That's a very good question as well.
It's just that particular panel.
Well, this particular, but is it individual?
Characteristic to all LX9500s?
All of this model.
We don't really know that. That's a very good question, because they all come out from the factory a little different. Sometimes the
hopefully this is not replicated on any other 9500, but I can't answer that.
A lot of what happens in production is their parts are changed from who they buy their chips from. So along the assembly line, their QC guys will look at the calibration and they'll recalibrate and put new settings in the televisions. So it's a kind of a moving target. It's a very fluid kind of a situation.
Well, it could be that, or it also could be something.
I love it when you nod your head positive. That's very cool.
I think it's the actual this glass top. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. So the filtering is applied right to that. They apply that right.
I mean, I guess when you put up something and it's just looking at it like this, it's correct.
Yeah.
But when you actually come back out and you're looking at all the reflect,
we could feed this info back, and we should to Joel, who works with LG. Say, hey, go listen to this to the guys. This might be valuable.
This is the Sony's results. Again, it was excellent performer. Basically, the goal for the grayscale, you can see, this is what we were talking about with the tracking of the grayscale, how it bounces here and there. That's what you were seeing in that actual grayscale ramp. It's still good because the errors are the highest error, which really don't matter on this side, but almost all of the errors are underneath 3. 3 represents the threshold on error where it's almost imperceivable to the eye, especially with this particular formula right here. So this is actually very good, and it's actually 180 compared to what they were last year.
Beautiful.
So
Gamma's a little bit high down low at about 10%, a little bit low up at 90. But I see that kind of a graph very frequently.
This is probably standard for
much with contact.
As long as you don't go too high in here or too low, you're good with shadow detail. This is a lot less important because you're way up at 90% peak white. This is the area that's most critical, I think, because it really is all about shadow detail when it's coming out of black.
Right. But this is pretty much a standard gamma across the industry right now. It's not what
you don't
we
see
prefer.
A flat line too often.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's pretty good. I mean, the LG had the same thing, except at the 90% level it was the opposite. Instead of going down, it was going up. So color-wise, it doesn't have a CMS. So if you were to look at it in that perspective, it was actually very good, except for red. Of course, I mean, everything else pretty much lined up where it needed to be without a CMS, which is, you can actually applaud Sony for doing something like that. I would definitely like to see the red point be closer than where it is as far as where it needs to be.
Luminance is relatively good too. It's not perfect, but
it's not perfect.
To what I see in the field, it's good. Interesting. Now look at that gamma.
Oh wow! What happened there?
This is
That's our friend with
Yeah.
That's
That's post That's post calibration.
This is post calibration.
What's the matter with you guys? Can you do better?
You know what? I spent several hours on that thing playing with backlight, contrast, and 4 different gamma settings, and that was, you should have seen some of the other ones.
Yeah. All right. So it was worse out of the box, apparently.
Oh, a lot worse.
What I would recommend for Sharp to do, instead of paying too much focus on adding that fourth color, get that red, green, and blue correct.
Is that why there's no representative here?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sharp observation.
I was one of 2 consultants that told
Look at
me
this.
that,
Go back.
They fired you for that.
they may have. They may have. I haven't heard from them since.
Look at these luminance levels.
What we got here? Oh boy.
Look at green.
Who's this?
This is a Sharp.
Oh, it is, right. Okay, yeah. Luminance is way off.
You couldn't get it better.
No, but look at the color. I can tell you the color points were way out of whack, and they actually are not terrible.
Yeah, the results are going to be as well.
But the luminance is definitely off, and interestingly, you can see it in the picture because the black line is the TV, and this is the reference, so it's down. Cyan, green, and as a result, that picture looks somewhat undersaturated on just regular material, any material, compared to everything else in the room.
Well, the gamma's
Green and cyan.
That's not helping.
That'll probably more emphasize in the actual color of the sky, especially with cyan on this one. It just does not look like outside. This is the Samsung Plasma right here.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's nice and flat. Huh?
Yeah, it's reasonable. Good gamma. Good
Not
ratio.
straight, but very good gamma. Still have that floating. That's what we're seeing in the grayscale round. But the errors, all underneath 3.
And the grayscale error here at 10 going down, going blue, we're going to have an error. That's the way we want to go. We don't want to go this way. That'll give us green, reddish, ruddy looking nastiness down in very dark material. Blue we can deal with because we don't see it well. So if we're going to have an error, that's a good one.
Color-wise, because they have the CMS control built in, can't really ask for too much better, except for, I would say, on green. However, again, these measurements were done at 75% stimuli level. The problem with these C-series Samsungs is their luminance levels need to be checked at 100, 75, 50, and 25. I guarantee you this will not look like this on those other levels, and that has to be correct.
And the grayscales wobble when you go to 15, 25, 35.
But what he's talking about is the actual tracking of the primary and secondary colors, and that's actually not correct for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Here's the Panasonic.
This one we calibrated a couple of times, actually.
This is ISF 9.
Okay.
Has this high bump right here at 10%. Gotta fix that. Gotta fix that. But this right here, this is irrelevant, but this is a little too high, and some people have actually commented in the audience today that, you know, it appears to be crushing some dark end detail.
I told them it wasn't, but I think their eyes are good on this
right,
one.
It's all in, when you're dealing with gamma and everything, again, because you had all these other panels here, you know, you could see that, but it was by itself in a completely dark room. Something like this would not really be important, but we want to see this flat. Color-wise, again, ISF mode.
Luminance is really good.
Yep. Luminance is excellent, and actually on this one, it actually does the luminance levels correctly at 25, 50, 75, and 100.
Fantastic. It's beautiful.
Below 1.5. Delta 1994.
Does it have an ISF mode?
No, that's a good question.
There are a
We
lot more
enabled
now than
INS.
before,
This
right?
is leak ISF.
It's growing.
Thanks a lot. The INS area.
The LG have it.
We enabled
the others
this
do not.
through Sean Turvey's product, which is the only product that enables the ISF day and night. So you can peak the performance without clipping in a bright, high ambient light room.
Oh, yeah.
You can peak the performance for nighttime viewing in a dark, lighting-controlled room with low ambient light and get the best picture quality in any lighting environment in your individual home. That's a terrific feature. We enabled those features. It's legal. It doesn't hack or void the warranty. And it's encouraged by Panasonic for us to do that. The calibrators, the good calibrators do that. And it's a great feature, so we can peak the performance of the environment of your individual home during the day and at night. Really a great feature.
THX actually demands that you track well also. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that they work real hard with that company to make that happen.
Which one's this?
What do we got here?
This is the this one.
Oh, the Austin.
Yes.
That was fun to play with.
Yeah, this one, I heard this was a very big challenge for people to calibrate. I didn't touch this one.
That was me. But I did do the 10-point. We discussed this yesterday. I had issues, or maybe earlier today. You can see at about 40, it starts to straighten out and go nice and flat. But between 10 and 40, we got. And I went back and forth.
And all of this is what you would see in black and white movies, especially, or any type of low APL-C types of content. So this is very important. This is very, very bad for a panel to be doing.
Luminance, good.
Yes.
That's interesting. What I'm finding with the Samsungs is whatever colors you can actually correct using blue as opposed to red and green, it affects luminance less. So I start with blue and then I go back to red and green and try and minimize the usage of those two colors in the CMS process.
That's it.
All right. Wow. We need to finish our voting. Should we look for some more material up there? And am I the only one who hasn't finished? Or what?
I did not.
Did you?